Are Locked On Spartans, your daily podcast on the Michigan State Spartans, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I can't talk. That's a roaring start to the episode right there. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Locked On Spartans, your team every single day. As I start this episode sounding like I've been drinking for the better part of 9 hours. Unfortunately, that's 9 hours short. I've had nothing to drink tonight. But my guest joining today is actually on some muscle relaxers, I understand. Now, that could be for two reasons. One, it could be from golfing over the weekend and he's got a bad back, or it could just because that's what life is like here on the Locked On Spartans podcast. You need something to loosen you up here as you have to spend roughly a half hour with me. He's Graham Nelson. He's a great guy. He's a friend of the program. Graham, how you doing, man? You doing okay?
Yeah, I'm hanging in there, man. As I texted you earlier, I'm a little bit better than I was, but hurt the back over the weekend. So got some muscle relaxers and then also went and got a massage today. So this evening. So there was a period of time from 7 to about 8:30 that I was just a big tub of goo.
Sure.
I've seemed to have come back to life a little bit, but appreciate you having me back, man.
No, absolutely. Yeah, just morphing into the couch. You're speaking coherently and clearly, so that makes one of us at least as we head into a fun episode. Before we get to any of this, though, hey, please rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast or the YouTube show. This is Locked On Spartans, your team every single day. And hey, if you want to reach out, lockedonspartans@gmail.com. And that's exactly what Bill Patterson did. He reached out with a great episode prompt, and that's what we're going to do all show today. Take the 8 Final Four teams that Tom Izzo has coached at Michigan State, bracket them up, and let's go head-to-head against each other. And without further ado, Mr. Graham Nelson, we're going to show the bracket on YouTube right now. Is that popping up? Is that showing up on your end? Because it is not on my end. I told you that this would...
We did test it. We tested it before we hit record, and it was working.
Works in the pre-show, doesn't work as we're recording live, but nonetheless, I'll just read it off right now. So, the 1 seed is the 2000 National Championship team against 2015. That'll be our 8 seed. The 4 seed is 2010. The 5 seed is 1999. The 3 seed is 2019. The 6 seed is 2005. The 2 seed is 2009. And the 7 seed is 2001. I cannot believe that screen sharing did not work. That really puts...
It's a big bummer, dude.
That is, and it's just not working. So, hey, if you wanted to jot that down. Regardless, really quick, Graham, do you have any beef with any of the seedings?
No, I'm actually just interested in how you came up with it. Because as I was looking through it, I'm like, this seems pretty fair. There's arguments for pretty much almost every game, sure. Right?
Yeah, people love to argue, especially when it comes to brackets. But yeah, I mean, I felt like it was a pretty safe spot to start with the 2000 national title team as the number 1 seed, right? And of the 8 teams, the one that fluky is a bad word. But maybe the one that surprised us the most, perhaps, I think that's a good way to put it, is the 2015 team. So that's the 8 seed right there. Now, beyond that, in the middle, I don't know, 2009, they get the 2 seed because, okay, national title game. That's fun.
Yep.
2019, and that's where it got tough because who gets a 3 seed, 2019 or 2010? So I just flipped the coin. I was like, okay, well, this is how it's going to go. And so,
yeah,
that's what we got.
Honestly, I think you did it. I don't know, maybe how I would have done it. Whether that's right, who the hell knows? But I would agree. I didn't look at this thing and was like, did you just throw them in a randomizer and spit it out at us?
Disgraceful.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you complimenting the bracket. Trying to pick up my spirits here as I start stumbling this episode verbally, and then the screen share on this platform we use doesn't want to work when I want to show the bracket. So hey, thank you, Grant, for giving me a win.
Dude, it's on brand, right?
It is. I mean, yeah, hey, I finally go above and beyond and build a bracket. We're gonna do a screen share for the first time on this YouTube show, and then. So there we go. Hey, if you're listening on the podcast, this is all moot point for you.
So people are going to listen. Anyway. People are going to listen. Big. There goes Corky Matt again. Yeah, he did. Yeah. He did it again.
It's now becoming just an accidental bit. These things happen. I'd love to have this be a whole charade. No, this is just what I do. Nope. It's sadly just me. That's who I am. So
All right.
here we go.
I have something really, really random to share.
Please.
So I bought a pair of Gabe Brown sweatpants off the player's trunk.
Fine website. Yes,
it is. And like first time I bought anything off there, and like honestly, I really just searched for stuff that I can like wear. And his sweatpants were extra large long. I'm an extra large long, ideally. So I was like, heck, I'll buy them.
Look at you.
Well, like I don't tell my wife, and they show up, and she's like, "What is this? Why? What is going on here?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I told her, explained to her, and she's like, "Did he like wear those in practice?" I'm like, "I have no clue. Like, I have no idea. Either way,
who's to say? Yeah.
I'm sure they've been washed or whatever. So get them out of the package. Whatever detergent this guy uses to wash his clothes is the most delightful smelling detergent I've ever smelled in my entire life, and I need to know what it is. So, Gabe, if you're listening, appreciate the pants. Yeah. They fit great. I love them. I'm actually wearing them right now. But what detergent do you use?
Look at that. What? So, muscle relaxers and just huffing, just detergent. This is great. Wow, you're higher than a Swiss mountain climber over there. This is great. We got lubed up Graham Nelson over here.
Anyways, there's some random stuff for the podcast.
The player's trunk just slaps, and I was late on the Luke Campbell drop tonight because he was selling a bucket hat, and I've been in the market for an MSU bucket hat, and it was right in front of me, and of course I just let time slip by as I do. So,
dude, can't you just like email Jim Bowman or something?
Yeah, close personal friend of mine. Yeah, loyal listener of the podcast, loves everything I have to say about him. Yeah, I'll get Jimmy B on the line here once we're done with this.
I figured.
No doubt about it. All right. Look, just in grand Graham Nelson, Matt Sheehan fashion, we are off the rails already. We have completely taken our eyes off the ball here, but we're going to try to get back onto it right now. Graham, let's just start with the boring one. The 1 seed, the 2000 Final Four team, the national championship team, versus the 8 seed, the 2015 Final Four team, which actually the 8 seed wasn't too far off from what their seed actually was, obviously being a 7 seed. Any argument here, or is it pretty cut and dry? I mean,
I just want you to imagine Mateen Cleaves versus Tum Tum Nairn matchup for like 1 second. Just think about it for a second.
Why? I'd love to not.
That's
I mean, Coach Tum Tum Nairn, by the way. I want the record to show that. That's
You want him as the assistant coach?
I wouldn't hate it. I just want someone hired at this point. I'll take a name. I'll take a body. A warm body is fine with me.
All right.
Yeah.
Then that's a different conversation for a different day. I mean, no argument here. Like, I mean, what's there to compare? Like, Brandon Dawson's maybe a better foreman than AJ Granger. Maybe.
I'd like the Dawson on Maurice Peterson matchup. That'll be fun. Granted, there's 4 other battles going on, but like that's one that I think would be fun to watch.
I mean, like
exciting.
Andre Hudson versus who was it? Matt Costello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how much we need to talk about that anymore.
That's actually longer than I thought we were going to talk about that. So 2000, congratulations. You move on to another Final Four. I'm sure Mateen Cleaves listens to this podcast. Matt Ishby, a friend of the program, he probably listens to this podcast as well. Just can't stop racking up the wins there. Let's go to the game below that, the 4 versus 5. Now, I think there is some debate here. Now, the 4 seed I just threw down 2010 and 1999 is the 5 seed. And Graham, going further, I should have said this off the top, but you get the ultimate say here. I treat my guests with the utmost dignity. You get power of attorney here. Decide who we're getting rid of and who we're moving on to the next round. So if we ever have a disagreement, you get the nod. So
is there like a caveat with his 2010 team? Are we talking like Kalen Lucas? Or
I wanted to talk about that.
Like, is it like the team that was playing in the Final Four game, or like the team of this? Because it's 2 with Kalen Lucas, that team wins a national title more than likely.
Sure, right.
That's
why I think, for sake of argument, no Kalen Lucas for this one. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it brings me no joy to say that, but I think we're gonna go no Kalen Lucas for this one. It's got to be like the roster that was in the Final Four. I think.
Okay,
if that's Lucas, not too bad.
No, he was really, pretty good player.
He did enough. Yeah.
He created one of the best in-game memories ever. For Michigan State hitting that shot over Maryland.
Why not?
That makes it really tough. I mean, I think with Kalen Lucas, it's 2010, like, I don't know, but no-brainer. I was also 12 years old in 1999. So like, it's hard for me to have like this really, like deep, in-depth, memory of it.
Yeah.
I think honestly,
you
I think
a lot
this
of respect with the older MSU fans, though. If you say 1999, like that's going to get you a lot of cred with like probably the 35 club. So
you talk about Antonio. You talk about Antonio Smith, right? I mean, like, that dude is like the deacon of Michigan State basketball in terms of like how everything started.
Very underappreciated, yes.
Yeah, and if you hear people talk about that team and like how the whole thing with Michigan State started, it's like you will never hear a bad word about him. And like, I mean, the dude started everything, at Michigan State.
Right.
So like, I think if someone who is, at the time was 17 years old in 1999 and was like in love with this team, like if I were to say 2010 wins, they'd probably kill me.
Sure.
But
I know.
I mean, you got.
It's tough. This is the toughest one, maybe. Like even for the rest of the episode, like this might be the toughest one.
You know what? It's 1999. So they lose. They lose to Duke in that Final Four, right?
Yeah.
And then Duke goes on to lose to, I think, UConn in that national title game. I think.
I'll take your word for it. Yeah. No, I think you're right. Actually, yeah.
And both of like Coach K and Izzo kind of like said after that game, no matter the winner of the Duke Michigan State game was losing the next game, no matter what, because they just beat the crap out of each other.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm going with 99. That team was. Now that I'm thinking about it, I mean, it launched everything. It was the I don't know, the
genesis of Michigan
like the growth that the loss that they needed to get to the next step. I mean, whatever you want to call it, right? I think
I like that.
There's just like this toughness about them. It was almost like like the Jerry Stackhouse years prior to they got so close, and then all of a sudden like the Pistons move on to the next step. Yeah, I'm gonna go 1999. I think that team is they're just too tough. Too much toughness in that team.
There's a lot of toughness, and like you talk toughness, like Draymond Green on whoever he would be guarding, like Maurice Peterson, or maybe it is Antonio Smith, whoever he's guarding, like that would be a matchup for the ages. Like that'd be awesome. But
yeah, I
also go back and like the 1999 team, like, oh yeah, that was like the baby Spartans before they got it all figured out the following year, but like not really. I mean, like Mateen Cleaves was a junior, like he was still pretty good. Maurice Peterson, a junior, Antonio Smith, just like you said, a senior. So like a lot of great players on the team, but yeah, in the end, you know what? I'm going to fall in love with the romanticism of just tough, gritty Spartan basketball. Hey, 2010 was tough, but those early teams.
What was their record? I'm just going to look at it.
Let me pull it up on the good old Wikipedia. It was 33-5. That's not bad. 15-1 in the Big Ten. Who beat them in the Big Ten? It was Wisconsin right off the top to start Big Ten play. They beat them by 15, and they just ran the table after that. My goodness gracious.
Okay, they lost 5 games. One of those was a Final Four.
Yeah. Oh my Jesus. So at one point, they won like 22 straight games before they lost to Duke in the Final Four. Wow, I'm learning a lot right now on Wikipedia. This is great. What a informative episode right here. Not just for the listeners, but for yours truly.
Yeah, I'm glad we did our research that we're looking this up right now.
Well, we can't be perfect here, Graham. I mean, listen, if the beginning of the episode is any tone setter for how the rest of this is going to go, so be it. But Graham.
Yeah, it's 1999, and now that we've walked through it, they win an absolute massacre. Maybe by this at that time, although Michigan State was probably scoring like 35 points a game at that time, they win that game 38-11. That's the final score.
I was going to go 51-42. Which that sounds about right. So love that, Graham. I got bad news for you. I gotta send you to the bench. Unfortunately, right now
I got a surprise for you when you get back.
Oh, that's right. Graham has got Jeopardy questions coming out of each break here right now. But before we get to that question and the rest of our Final Four team bracket, I guess, hey, just want to talk to you fine folks about Rock Auto. That's right. I've been talking your ear off about Rock Auto for probably as long as you've been listening to this here podcast or YouTube show. Why? Well, it's because they are the greatest out there when it comes to finding the right part for your car or truck. My goodness, I'm in my own head right now. But you know what else is also in my head? Just how great Rock Auto is. Just how fantastic they treat you. It is now impossible for your local chain auto parts store to stock all the parts you need. Why would you endure often pointless or seemingly intimidating questioning like, oh, does your Toyota Corolla need a Spugel Yipper? I don't know. That could be a car part for all I know. I'm not a car person at all. I'm not a truck person at all. I barely know how to fill my car with gas, quite frankly. But luckily, don't have to be a car person, and neither do you, because Rock Auto's got it figured out, and they make it easy for dumb car people like myself. You save time, you save money when using Rock Auto, and why would you spend 50 or 100% more for the same part from a chain store or car dealership? You'd only do it if you were a giant clown. But you're not a clown. You're a smart person. You love easy-to-use websites like the one that Rock Auto has. So go to rockauto.com right now. See all the parts available for your car or truck right locked on in there. Hey, how'd you hear about us box so they know that we at Locked On sent you? Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. That's rockauto.com. And as we welcome Graham Nelson back to the show, hey, just want to thank you for making Locked On Spartans your first listen every single day. New segment, new me. I'm going to start speaking the English language correctly here, Graham. Do you have faith in me? Or if you don't, that's fine too.
It doesn't matter. It
doesn't. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. We were kidding.
All right. Whatever. So we're going to kick off just with a quick Jeopardy question. If you follow Matt, you know he brags about his final Jeopardy, like, I don't know, guesses as if anyone cares. But I think it's funny. So
no one cares. Yeah, and it happens like once every. So I'm like a gambler. You only hear about my good days. Like I'll never tell you about the days where I just like lay up a stinker, which is 9 out of every 10 episodes on Jeopardy. But anyway, that's yeah.
All right. So here's the topic is the Middle Ages.
Oh, God.
The clue is one way to judge guilt was trial by this 6-letter word, like putting the accused arm in boiling water.
It's not trial by fire. Oh my God, it's I'm 0 for 1. I'm 0 for 1. I don't even have a guess.
All right.
Man.
We're looking for what is trial by ordeal.
I could have been here till Sunday afternoon just trying to come up with that. Oh God.
I did get these off of like the 40 most difficult Jeopardy questions ever.
That makes me feel a little better. Okay, yeah. Awesome. There we go. Oh my God, this is humbling. Shit. No, God.
All right, moving on.
Talk MSU sports league.
Yep.
Oh man, let's just act like that never happened. God, never in my life have I heard that. The 3-for-6 game, Mr. Graham. It is the 2019 Final Four team versus the 2005 Final Four team. Listen. All Final Four teams are my favorite Final Four teams. Like, it's impossible to hate one of them or not love any of them, but, like, wow. 2019 and 2005 were, like, maybe 1 and 2.
Right yeah, there. 1A, 1B.
Fun teams. Really fun teams. 2009 has an argument, but, wow, fun. So, do you have, of course, this team wins right off the bat? Is it as easy as 2019, or are we going to talk about 2005's run? Which included probably their greatest Final Four run because they beat Vermont. Yeah, that's right. The big bad Vermont team. But also Duke and then Kentucky to get to the Final Four. Like that was the headliner right there.
Yeah. I mean, I think 2019 is like athletically completely overmatched by that 2005 team.
Probably.
Yeah. Paul Davis, maybe one of the most underrated player in Michigan State basketball history. The guy was just really, really, really good.
Loved him. He's on my Mount Rushmore for basketball players at Michigan State. I adore Paul Davis, no doubt. So good.
That being said, 2019's got Cassius Winston, man.
Speaking of Mount Rushmore, he might be all 4 heads on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. I mean, I he's the best player I've ever seen at Michigan State, and that includes Mateen Cleaves. He's number 1.
Right. Tough to argue that. I mean, I know that the older Spartan fans might have something to say about that, but like, he made magic happen. I mean, yeah, there's no wrong answer, I guess. That's a good way to.
Yeah, I mean, I think point guard play in 2005 who was that? Neitzel and
Chris Hill.
So Cassius Winston wins that matchup. Xavier Tillman against Paul Davis counters a wash.
Sure.
That 2005 team was like just athletically deep. Allen Anderson, Mo Ager,
yeah,
Shannon Brown on that team.
Yep. That's right.
Kelvin
Marquise
Torbert was on that team.
Gray starting his career as a guy that got 5 fouls and one momentum shifting dunk every single game.
Yeah.
Like that. I love Marquise Gray, man. That guy was great.
I need you to make a choice, and then I'll give you mine.
I want to say 2019 because it's like, wow, 05 is so athletic and they're so gifted everywhere. But like, you know who else was? Duke's team that year with their 3 top 8 NBA picks. So it's like, am I letting that play too much in my head? Probably. Do I care? No, absolutely not. So to me, I'm going to give 2019 the nod here.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's where I was leaning. I mean, Cassius Winston, best player on the floor. Yeah. I mean, he takes Chris Hill and he takes Chris Hill and Drew Neitzel for like a, I don't know, 28-14 ride.
Sure, casual.
I mean, Drew Neitzel was a really good player at Michigan State. He was just a freshman that year. So
love Drew Neitzel. Love Drew Neitzel. That's 3 of my Mount Rushmore heads right there. And Cassius, Paul Davis, Drew Neitzel in the 4th day. I mean, that's tough to.
So I played against Drew. Drew Neitzel and I were in the same graduating class, and I played against him in a summer camp.
Look at this. Okay.
And so 2 like quick stories about him. One, in like this Grand Valley summer team camp thing, we played against him. And the dude was pulling up from like 30 and just burying shots. And then like clearly he was just awesome. And then like after games, he would make his team run sprints like after they played a game in the middle of the summer.
That's a Tom Izzo coach player right there. That man was born to play for Tom Izzo.
Yeah, it was also like, dude, just chill out, man. Like
he's always on, just always on.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's why he was an All-American at Michigan State, and
that helps.
I was not. So.
Well, you got some career left. I mean, I don't think you've expired all your eligibility.
Dude, I hurt my back basically sneezing this weekend. So
not here to talk about that. We're here to push agendas, Graham. Come on, now. Keep your eye on the ball, Graham. Come on.
All right, the answer is 2019.
Okay, all right. Hey, Izzo's got 2 more scholarships to use next year. I would keep your phone by you at all times. You might get a 517 area code.
I am thinking about going back and getting my MBA. So
why not?
And I got a 2-year-old, a kid on the way. Gonna go with my MBA. I think I can throw, playing some hoops in there.
Xavier Tillman did it. Yeah, that should be no problem. Get your MBA to get to the NBA. There we go.
There we go. Love it. Love
it. Bada boom, bada bing. As we go to the last first round game here, the 2 seed, the 2009 national champion runner-up team versus 2001, the team that was 1 year removed from the national title. Now, I will just talk about the 2001 team for a little bit because, yes, they lost Maurice Peterson. They lost Mateen Cleaves, of course. But, like, the underclassmen on this team were outrageous. Like Zach Randolph, Jason Richardson. You got some Marcus Taylor, if that tickles your fancy. Aloysius Anaganye for you right there. All paired with a senior, Charlie Bell. Not bad. And I'm sorry, Andre Hudson as well. So that's what we're looking at for 01. So not that bad. Yeah, they're missing some star power, the names that we know, but still some good names on there.
How did that team ever lose?
That's a fantastic question, Mr. Nelson. I
mean, like, how many years of NBA experience is that in one round? Like, Zach Randolph and Jason Richardson combined with like 30 years of NBA experience just between the 2 of them.
Correct. Yes. As I'm going back to the Wikipedia page here, like I think this is a big moment for me as a kid because they lost the first round in the Big Ten tournament. They were the number 2 seed and they lost to Penn State 65-63. And I think that's where I started my mindset of Big Ten tournament doesn't matter. Earlier you lose, the better it is for the tournament run. I think I was 9 years old when that happened. I think that was a very, how like when you're a kid you absorb things like a sponge. That was a very big moment for me. Ever since then, Big Ten tournament has been trash, unless it's one of the 6 times that Tom Izzo has won.
Yeah, the
biggest deal in the world. Yeah.
The only time the Big Ten title matters is when Michigan State wins it. That's it. Yeah, please. Every other time. Everyone knows it. Like, cool. We needed the break.
Exactly. Fresh legs, baby. Fresh legs. That's right. Tom Izzo's iron forging his team and getting the legs ready.
All right. So answer your question.
Yeah, I guess we should get to that.
2009 is my answer.
Yeah, that's easy.
And the reason is, like, if you look, 2001 is clearly a phenomenal collection of talent as far as like a team goes. I don't know. That 2009 team was like, especially towards the end there when they went on that run, man, they were
insane run,
filthy.
Just relentless.
Tough. I mean, like athletic, skilled. I mean, they were everything.
Because like, okay, like the 2005 Final Four run was insane. Like they beat Kentucky and Duke, but like this one, they beat Kansas. Okay, now you get the number 1 overall seed, Louisville. Okay, you take care of them, and then you get Hashim Thabit and UConn, and yeah, in front of a home crowd, they thrash them too. So like they beat some bangers of teams down the stretch here. I think all 3 of them were top 15, and it was crazy. So like they were a well-oiled machine with Goran Sutan. So that's right.
Played against him too in the summer, actually.
No kidding. Wow, you're a well-traveled man. Now, I guess I should also count Drel Summers, who was one of my favorite players of all time. Electric. Kayla and Lucas goes without saying. Draymond, great. Like that team was so stacked. It's a shame they ran into an NBA team in the national title game.
I mean that 2009 North Carolina is like arguably the best college basketball team, like maybe ever.
I think in our lifetime, it's safe to say, like unless there's one of like the UCLA teams when John Wooden was coaching or whatever, but like that was the best team I've ever seen personally.
Yeah. They were unbelievable.
The game was over before the under-16 timeout in the first half. It was crazy.
So I remember watching that game like so vividly. In the opening tip, Michigan State comes down, Goran Sutan hits a 3. Immediately back down the court, Danny Green bears a 3, and I was like, this thing's done. Like it's over.
Tie game over. And like I'm not one of those 6 people that like goes back and watches like games Michigan State loses, but like to memory, like Wayne Ellington went for 48 points on 12 of 13 shooting from behind the arc. Like that's just how I remember it, at least.
Yeah,
just banana land. So that's safe to say. 2009, you move forward. So now we got our Final Four. 2000 versus 1999, 2019 versus 2009. But first, Graham, I just got to talk the people's ear off about the fine folks over at betonline.net. Woo! Before I fail at another Jeopardy question that Graham has gotten for me. Hey, that'd be fun to bet on, but luckily, actually, you can't lose money betting. I'm either going to answer correct on betonline.net, but you can bet on all sorts of other stuff, like all the other great things going on in the world of sports. It's horse racing galore. We still got the Belmonts coming up a little bit. NBA, NHL playoffs. The MLB season is awesome. There's a lot more teams other than the Tigers if you want to have fun betting on these games too. And also the PGA season is in full swing as well. Guys, you already know it. BetOnline has you hooked up because they are the number 1 source for all your sports betting needs and info. Find all the latest odds, news, sports developments, including this year's basketball playoffs, Major League Baseball scores, fights, and even next season's NFL futures. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering information from live betting, playoffs, esports, and more. So head to that website today. Use your mobile device. Learn more about the trends in action. That's at BetOnline, where the game starts. And let's just get this out of the way, Graham. Okay. I'm feeling good.
The topic is Van Gogh, a go-go. The question. Or the hint, I should say. One theory about Van Gogh's odd behavior is poisoning his liqueur made from wormwood.
Is that the question?
I mean, yeah. The theory, theory about Van Gogh's odd behavior is poisoning his liqueur made from wormwood.
Am I guessing what the liquid is? I don't even know what this question is. Nothing makes me feel stupider at Jeopardy when I read the clue on the screen and I'm like, what are they even asking for? Like square, so, like the number 14. Like,
yeah. The question is, what is absinthe?
Not 100.
I told you, dude. It's like top 40 hardest Jeopardy questions of all time. Like. I was like, I wanted to pick ones that you had no shot. So it's a little bit unfair. I think I've got one more. We can do it right before we leave. I think you
send me off on a good note.
You're close. Yeah.
I have Graham saw my tweets about Jeopardy and said, I got this. I'm bad enough.
I'm just going to make him look like a fool. Like no one's going to know this. Although there's someone going to be listening out there and be like, you guys are so stupid. Like, these are the easiest Jeopardy questions of all time.
100%. Yeah, all the listeners are smarter than I am. Like that. Yeah, this is not going to be a shock at all. No, my Twitter mentions are going to be flooding with "you're a dunce." So I'll be like, yeah, of course I am. Like, you should be in the house when Jeopardy's on TV. Like, I bark out every answer, and if my answers like counted, I would be like 18 grand in the hole at the end of every episode, just because like I'm a volume shooter. I'll answer every question if I don't know it. So, I love Jeopardy. Didn't get to watch tonight. Shoot, Graham. We're going to talk about the Final Four between these teams. I feel like the first one's going to be a pretty easy one. So it's 2000 versus 1999. And this actually kind of sounds like that we're kind of like Patrick Ewing theorying our way around Antonio Smith. Good riddance to you, Antonio Smith. Your absence on the team is the reason the 2000 team won. Like, that's how it comes off. But I swear I like them.
Yeah, quite the opposite. I mean, their best players are just a year older, year more experienced,
Right.
year tougher.
Yeah.
And that 2000, you add Jason Richardson to that team, right? I think you had Mike Chappelle to that team. Who aren't, like huge role, but Chappelle hit a big shot in the national title game. Jason Richardson is Jason Richardson.
Sure.
So, I mean, they're the national title winning team. Like, what do you want me to say? With basically the same roster. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. So that's an easy one. Hey, wow. 2000 national title team. You're in the national finals of our best Final Four team bracket. So now we could kill 50 minutes on this one right here.
Yep.
2019 versus 2009. Who gets your nod? Matchups galore, especially obviously the point guard play. Kayla Lucas versus Cassius Winston. Like, I would love to see that matchup, but I'd also hate to see that matchup. Like, it'd just be like two of your favorite childhood dogs just fighting against each other, and it's like, oh, please don't stop. No, I want you both to win. Please don't. This hurts too much to watch. Like, I love both guys so much.
Your favorite childhood dogs fighting. I've never heard that.
A common thing that happens. Whomst amongst us hasn't been such a pickle, Come on. The best analogy I could have come up with.
I mean, whatever. Sorry, man. That just made me laugh.
No, I'm sure. Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
I don't. This is like if I use Cassius Winston is the best player in Michigan State history, which you're outside of Magic, right? Disregard in my lifetime.
Sure. Yeah.
Then, and I use that to beat 2005. I kind of have to use it in this game. But yeah. I mean, that 2009 team, we just go back to depth, man. They come at you in waves.
I know.
They could score.
I know. And like, so Tillman's on who? Tillman's on Sutan. You'd figure, okay, like you still got Raymar Morgan out there banging in the post. You still got the athletic Drel Summers. I don't know who's checking Drel Summers at all in this game. Like maybe McQuaid, perhaps. Like
McQuaid's a pretty good defender, man, towards the end there.
He was a great defender. I love McQuaid as a defender, but man, Drel Summers. And let's keep in mind, too, like this was prime Drel Summers, too. Very rare for the player not to hit his prime as he ended his career, but Drel Summers was one of those guys, unfortunately. He was sick. He was sick in 2009, so like
he was. That team. I mean, Travis Walton's guarding Cassius Winston.
He's putting him in a sarcophagus. Yeah, like it was incredible. Oh my God! Excuse Don Ebach on Xavier Tillman for you right there for probably good 4 minutes at the end of the first half as Goran Sutan's on the bench in foul trouble. Yes. Can't wait for that matchup right there. But yeah, like you got Day out there, freshman Day, but nonetheless you got Day out there. I mean, it's man, that's
I think
it's tough.
I think my answer is 2009.
I think I want to whisper this because I think mine is too.
Yeah.
I think mine is too.
I'm writing it in pen, which means it's like it might as well be etched in stone.
Sure. Yeah. 2000. I cannot. That doesn't sit right with me putting the 2019 team out to pasture like that. But like,
if the 2009, but I mean, dude, think about like 2019, the 2019 team. They got good towards the end of the year. They were never great. I mean, they went on a really, really good run.
They were great for the right 7 games, right? Or however many it was to end the season. Yeah. And then the plane landed in Minneapolis, and then they turned back into a pretty good team.
And they just ran into Matt Mooney punting the ball from half court and having it go in the hoop for some gosh damn reason.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, we're here to talk about good memories. Whatever. That's on me. That's my bad.
Now you got me upset before bedtime.
That's I just made you're going to go through the next 37 Jeopardy questions that you have on your list in front of you. Just it's like, back in middle school, you get back from school and you had a bad day and you just fire up Madden and you play against a European NFL team on rookie mode just to take your angst out. Like that's going to be at the end of this episode right here. Just tuning me up in Jeopardy questions.
Okay. All right. We got 2000 versus 2009.
Yeah, all right. Sorry. Yep. Okay. Thank you for getting me back on track right there. Yes. 2000 versus 2009. I'm going to try to share my screen one more time just for laughs, because we like comedy on this show. Did that work? Yeah,
oh my God, it worked.
At the end of the show. Yeah, of course it works at the end of the show. So this is what our bracket looks like if you're on YouTube. And God bless you if you hung around for the first 35 minutes. Now you get the payoff of looking at what this bracket is like. If you're listening to the podcast, God bless you too. This must be hard to just visualize in your head if you have an attention span like a goldfish, like myself. But yeah, it's 2000 versus 2009. Graham, are we going to stun the world? Or are we going to unseat a national title winning team? Or what are we about to do here for the last few minutes?
I wish I could say it. I can't say it. I can't do it.
Hold on. Let me see if I can. I want to see if I can work something here.
I think it'd be a really good game. I do. Like, honestly, I think it'd be a really good game.
Yeah.
But man, there's something about that 2000 team was like,
I know,
so tough.
I know.
Let's say it's a really, really good game, right? And it's close, and it comes down to the last 2 minutes. Who are you betting on? You're betting on the 2000 team. They're just tougher.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to be boring, but you know what? I would hate even more is just to be hot takey for the sake of being hot takey.
Right.
Like sometimes the boring answer is the correct answer, and that's the team with the different colored banner up in the rafters. I think that's what they do at Breslin, right? All the banners are by each other, but the national title ones are different colors.
Yeah.
I don't know. You get what I'm trying to say. They got the natty banner up there.
I mean, I think that's good. Like, I don't know that everyone would have 2009 in their title game.
Sure.
Right. Like we do here. It's just like, who's going to argue that? If you argue against that, you're arguing for the sake of argument. Which is fine. Which is
right
fine.
up the alley of a lot of people on MSU Twitter, or AKA just Twitter in general. Like this kind of debate's perfect for like an online community. Just people that wake up every day looking to get upset on the internet. I mean,
I just hope that someone is like actually mad, like really upset.
Yeah. No, sure. Of course they will be. Yeah. I mean, late May in the off season, vibes are good. The weather's great in Metro Detroit. If that's where you're listening or watching the show at, that won't stop people from getting upset.
Someone's
chat.
Gonna get real mad at me because I didn't bring up like Tim Bograkis from the 2005 team.
Sure.
Like 2019 is beating 2005. Do you remember Tim Bograkis and how gritty and tough he was? Like, someone's legit going to be mad about that, and I can't wait.
Yeah, or like that we just went this far without mentioning Garrick Sherman. Like that's right. Waking up with a horse's head at the foot of my bed because I didn't bring up Delvon Rose's sophomore year. It is gonna get ugly. We should have done this like how they do Murder Mystery or like Dateline NBC, like black us out and change our voices. I think that would have been best. Yeah. So without further ado, let me copy and paste 2000 into the winner's circle because it just seems right. It is canon that the national title winning team, guess what, is Tom Izzo's best Final Four team. I love this prompt though, so thank you, Bill, for emailing this.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun actually. When you sent it to me, I was like, oh man, this is actually like really interesting. And like in all reality, it's just kind of like a stroll down memory lane for me to like look back at all those teams. And I ended up, of course, down a YouTube rabbit hole and all that sort of thing. So it's actually a really, really cool, fun question. Would you like your final Jeopardy question before we get out here, or did you have something else?
I was just gonna say I would love to do an episode where we literally just for 30 minutes just name guys. And that's it. Like we just bebop around, just name guys, and that's it. No ad reads, no nothing. Just shooting the blank and just
would you like to know how this is like telling of me as a human being, and embarrassing? Okay. But like when you can't sleep, right? They tell count sheep or do something to get your mind off of sleeping. Please tell me you do this. So I
know where you're going, and I think I'm right with you.
I start with number 1, and I just name like a guy who wore that jersey, like all the way up until I fall asleep.
I will be doing that now, but no, I'll just go back. I'll pick a team like 2007, for example, and then I'll just like try to go off the top of my head, just like start naming guys.
Okay, so all right, so I'm not an insane person then.
No, I do that, and then like another one's like golf. Like I'll pick a golf course, I'll try to like memorize all 18 holes of that course that I've played like once 4 years ago. But that's no one wants to hear about that. No, but like the MSU thing, like the name that guy, 100% I do. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Or like name like Final Four cities, or also like sites that they've played at, like Des Moines, Washington D.C. Have they gone to St. Petersburg lately? Yeah, so
okay,
it's.
I'm glad I'm not the only one here. Also, is a fun game of just like I say a number and you just tell me like the first player that comes to your mind when you pick that number. So if I say like 42,
Jackie Robinson. That's but
great.
Oh, okay. I thought you wanted an MSU Spark.
No. Just anyone. You can do it with anything.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, Jackie Robinson. Yeah.
So yeah, we could do all of that stuff.
You ever have a substitute teacher like back in high school or middle school, like, and they come in, or like it could be your normal teacher too, and like you have a quiz coming up and you are trying to not take it, so you just filibuster the teacher to not ever get to handing out the quiz or the test or whatever it is. If you didn't do that, congrats on just being a normal student. This is what I'm doing right now with the final Jeopardy question. Right now, I'm just punching this down the road as far as I can.
You can get this one. I think with your heritage, there's a clue.
Oh God, I'm going to let my people down. Great,
you might get this. All right, so this is world history. Okay. This castle, famous for its stone, was built by Cormac McCarthy in about 1446.
If it's not Blarney Castle, I'm going to lose my. It's Blarney. It has to be Blarney.
What is Blarney? Yes. You got it. Okay. I'm proud of you.
We save face there. Okay, gotcha. I kissed Blarney Stone. Actually, what a great way to end the show, because I kissed Blarney Stone, and it cures the gift of gab. You're stuttering, you're slurring, whatever it is, and you can tell that is a folklore. That is an urban legend. As I have been fumbling and bumbling my way through 40 minutes of podcasting here with the one, the only Graham Nelson. This is great. We finally are getting some fun episodes with you under our belt, because you came on after some really bad games last year.
Yeah.
So how does it feel to be on the fun side of these?
Well, we did a fun one last time I was on. I forgot what we talked about, but it was...
Yeah, same here. It was great, though, I'm sure, because you were on it. So
yeah, I don't remember. I'm sure, like, I saw you tweeted at Coach Tucker, and like, so you're kind of teasing that you were going to get him, and instead the people get me, which is cool. Like, it's fine.
Same difference.
Won't let anyone down. It's all right.
Neither of you two have personally lost to Michigan in a football game, so you got something in common there.
That's true. That is true.
Oh, you got going for us. Yeah,
that's true.
We'll take that. Awesome. Well, hey, if you were still listening, first of all, thank you. You're the best person of all time. Graham, give us like a code word for people to either tweet or email to just let us know that they've listened to 44 minutes of Locked On Spartans here. Just two guys remembering names here. What's a good code word for people to belt out?
Target.
Okay, that works. Some Target action for you right there. I love that.
There's a Target bag sitting on my kitchen table. So
love that. That's very observant of you. Awesome. Well, great. I'll stop wasting your time. It's getting late here. I'm sure you gotta rest up for your next. For your NBA, actually, your NBA to the NBA career coming up on the near horizon. As Tom Izzo still looking to fill out 2 final scholarships. Graham Nelson, if he's not phone call number 1 for Izzo, he's phone call number 2. He's also the man, the myth, the legend. Thank you so much, Graham. Really
appreciate it, man.